What is up, my friends? Your weekend has now officially started. It is Friday night's late night agenda, and there is quite a bit to talk about this evening, my friends. We will, of course, be covering the managerial situation in all of its glory. We'll be looking ahead to the game against United. We'll be asking, will Eric Ten Hag still be in the job next year? And do any of us really care? The answer is most likely no. And loads of other bits and pieces today, my friends. I appreciate you being with us. I know it's Friday night and you've probably got better things to do, but I don't, and I'm delighted to be here with you. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. It is Friday and yeah, party time. I'm so excited about this weekend. The match against Manchester United on Sunday, to me, is, I want to say, a title decider. In my head, if we beat United, we're going to go on to do it. If we don't beat United, I'm not going to give up. But I feel like this is a weekend that we can make a statement. But we've got to learn our lessons. We haven't beaten United yet this season. A draw at Anfield, beaten in the FA Cup at Old Trafford. So I'm hoping the boys utilise that energy and want to put things right. We've already seen Mohamed Salah come out with fighting words today. You love to see that. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good ahead of it. So a couple of thank yous. Tom Judge, appreciate you, mate. Said happy evening on Friday to all of you. Member with us for 8 months. Thank you so much. Mark renewed his membership as well. Mark Legend. And there we go. 5 gifted memberships from Jen to start off the Friday night show. We love that, Jen. Thank you very much. So look, a couple of bits of housekeeping. Firstly, I hope you guys got your tickets. They went on sale this morning. We're going to be live in Belfast May 31st, Dublin June the 2nd. Check out Ticketmaster if you want to come along to the shows. The tickets are up and live. So, as we were preparing for the show this evening, we weren't going to be as ballsy as we are with the title until just before we went live. News started to trickle out that maybe this Ruben Amorim deal is getting a little bit closer. So what does all that mean and what can we expect? We will, of course, go through that on tonight's stream. So, starting my Friday morning with you all doing my workout. Well, Interface My Network. What's a workout? I don't know what one of them is, dude. Craig, be honest, how many times have you watched the Macca goal on repeat, said George? Quite a bit, George. Quite a bit, mate. I won't lie. Sky have a nice one from every angle as well. So yeah, I've watched the... It's so good, isn't it? Like, that strike from Alexis McAllister was just Gerrard-esque. It's the only way I can describe it. Brian, look at this. Straight in. Not just 1, not 5, not 10. 50 gifted Anfield Agenda memberships from our resident superstar, Mr. Brian. Thank you, Brian. All appreciated. And I'm just blown away by the generosity, dude. Yourself, Barry, and everybody else. Jen today, JC, everyone that gifts all those memberships. Absolutely incredible stuff. And Brian's just dropped in with 50 of them. So, I'm going to start off today with a bit of a weird story. A bit of a transfer one that was doing the rounds earlier on today. But I have to say, I don't put much weight behind this one. Liverpool have offered £128 million for Federico Valverde through intermediaries, according to a couple of people on social media and a couple of websites. ldebate.com, I think it's called. I very much doubt Liverpool have put forward an offer of £128 million for Fede Valverde, as much as I really like him, and I think we'd all be fans of the player. I certainly know Jurgen Klopp's a big fan of his as well, but... yeah, this again feels to me like Madrid are starting to ramp up the interest in players that they may have to cash in on this summer. So you're probably going to see a lot of stories about the likes of Valverde, although it would baffle me as to why they'd want to get rid of him. The likes of Rodrigo as well. But this one today said that Liverpool have followed him for many years and is a dream signing for the club. I think we can put this on a certain island. 130 odd million quid. Just not for me. He's not worth that much money, as much as I do like him as a player. Laser Snipes, welcome to Anfield Agenda Ultras, buddy. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate you. Team Shark Meg, member for 6 months, said cheers for entertaining us daily. Mate, no need to thank me. It's my pleasure. Hope everything is good. Yeah, all good. Yeah, good. Very surreal seeing tickets on Ticketmaster for the show. Like, it's still very surreal, but it's been a good couple of days, my man. Good couple of days. Right, quick fixture update as well for May to put in your calendars before we get stuck into the big news stories. Liverpool versus Spurs is confirmed to be on the 5th of May. It's a Sunday. It's a 4:30 kickoff, which means it will be on Sky Sports. So just put that in your diaries. Liverpool versus Spurs, 4:30, Sunday, 5th of May, and that game will be on Sky Sports. So yeah, looking forward. That's one of our more difficult games remaining, but playing Spurs at home, you've got to be confident. What's this the Mark said? Right, 1 second. So, Mary said to give the Discord link to somebody else. Mary, you're very kind with that offer. So, yeah, we will pick out one more person tonight. Mark will give us one more name for people we'll add into the Discord for a bit of a follow-over from Thank You Thursday. And thank you for that, Mary. Right, I'm going to get straight into it tonight because I know it's Friday and you guys have a lot to be doing. So, let's start off with a couple of quotes from Pedro Sepulveda, who's a Portuguese journalist who got the Darwin Núñez story spot on and has been on the money so far with this one as well. He said, Ben on Twitter said, reliable Portuguese journalist Pedro Sepulveda has just stated that there's a 70% chance that Ruben Amorim will become the next Liverpool manager. That carried on to say Ruben Amorim's open to joining as well. And then there's an exclusive that Anfield Sector put out to say Liverpool are confident that Ruben Amorim will be their head coach next season. Doesn't stop there though, because it keeps coming. Now they say an agreement with Amorim's entourage regarding finances could be met in the next few days. So this story really starting to gather momentum now, and I'm the same as everybody else. I'm not professing to have any inside knowledge on this whatsoever. I don't. I'm just hooked like you all, just waiting to see if indeed he is going to be the next manager, and it's certainly looking that way. Ruben Amorim was speaking as well in a press conference today, and he didn't rule out leaving Sporting Lisbon. Again, the language that he's using is to me quite suggestive of the fact that he's probably going to be departing in the summer. So if he is going to be departing, well, the candidates to take him are getting less and less. A story that I read late last night from the Express said the pathway has cleared for Liverpool to appoint Ruben Amorim this summer, as Barcelona have reportedly withdrawn their interest in the Sporting manager. Add to that news that came out late last night as well that Chelsea had pulled away from conversations as well. It does look like more and more he will be the next Liverpool manager, and maybe that announcement could be relatively soon, or at least progression on this deal. Of course, there's still a fee to be paid to Sporting Lisbon, his release clause, and we'll go through that as well. Right, so a couple of super chats. Danny Bingham said, statue of Brian and Barry outside the AA headquarters. Yeah, I've no problem with that. Absolutely, both very deserving of that accolade. Not sure if I agree if we're willing to give the amount for Caicedo. Valverde is definitely worth the cash. Look, Santino, we're on the same page with regards to our admiration of the player. I find it very strange when we've got a new manager coming in that we're talking about a potential deal for 130 something million quid for a player. Look, I would love it to be the case, mate. I would love Valverde at Liverpool. I think he's a cracking player. I just don't think that that's great value at the price that's been mentioned, nor do I think we'll pay it. But you have made a very valid point. We were willing to pay a good chunk of money for Caicedo, so you never know. Sorry, just have to reply back to one of the boys. Right, happy days. My birthday on May the 4th. I'm getting drunk all weekend now. Well enjoy, Tony. Happy birthday to you. Right, Belfast and Dublin tickets link is pinned to the top of the chat, by the way. So again, thank you to the boys for putting that up. Right, let me get through some of your comments because I've a load of news to go through tonight. Alex Macklin says has gifted one membership. Thank you, Alex. You're very kind. Apparently Southgate in the news for the Man United job. We can but hope, David, my man. We can but hope. I'm going to ask you guys a straightforward question now for tonight's first poll. I'm going to ask you a straightforward question about the manager job. Look at that. I think that's the quickest I've ever typed out a poll here, folks. So I'm going to ask you straightforward, will Ruben Amorim be the next manager? Yes or no? Do let us know. I want to see how confident you guys are feeling about this one. And if you disagree, by the way, if you don't think he's the right choice, let me know in the comment section and we'll discuss it. Craigo, any injury news? Yes, nothing new though. Nothing with regards to players coming back. We will have the same squad pretty much with Endo added to it that we had for the game last night. So with Endo coming back, I think that's it. Endo, no new players back just yet. Jota, Alisson and Trent aren't ready just yet, but we will have Watoro back for the game on Sunday, which is good news because we need him. Craig, just wondering, what do you think the best way to get tickets for the Europa League final is? I live in Wicklow, love the content. Emmett, it's gonna be almost impossible to get the tickets. There's no chance of getting them through normal avenues at this point. You're gonna have to pay a premium. And truly, I don't know. I really don't know what the best way to go about it is, because you're talking, at a guess, I wouldn't, 1,500 quid would be my guess at an average ticket price that you'd have to pay at this point, unless somebody did you a huge favour. But truth is, I don't know. And I don't want to point anyone in the wrong direction, because, it's a lot of money for these things, and I don't want anyone getting scammed or anything like that. So what I would say is, if a deal looks too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. And at least try to stick to reputable sources that you'd have some comeback with. If anybody is ever paying for tickets or anything on PayPal or that, make sure that you do not use friends and family. You've no comeback if you use friends and family. Make sure that you say you're paying for goods or services. Do you have a favourite Irish club? Yeah, absolutely. Shelbourne. Shelbourne would be the club that a lot of my family would be supporters of. Right, we've got somebody for the Discord link. Thank you, Mark and Mods, for choosing. And I think you've made a great choice as well. Tayshawn Price. If you would like to get in contact, bud, we will give you that link to the Discord group as part of our Thank You Thursday. So just email us, contact@AnfieldAgenda.com, or message us on one of the socials, mate, and we will get you that link. Tayshawn is a great choice, Mods. Well played. Tayshawn's been somebody that's been very active and very good in the community for a while, so I love that choice. I'm going to Villa away. See you travelling, Scousers. Nice. That's a great game to get to go to, mate. Well in. I'm not at all jealous. I'm very jealous. Got some new guitar parts for a custom build coming tomorrow. Loving the streams and the content as usual. You never walk alone to you. Well in, Finley. Now, I still need a musician for the Irish show, so if anybody has any suggestions, do let us know. The musician that we had in mind hadn't worked out at the moment. We've plenty of time though, so if you are somebody, maybe somebody who's a singer-songwriter that likes Liverpool, knows the songs, get in contact, because we want to have somebody there singing live with us on the night, to make it a memorable event. And Finley, again, much appreciate your super chat, Sarah. Thank you. So I've got some interesting news for you guys. Lineup Builder, our friends at Lineup Builder who help us with all of our graphics and stuff like that. They are going to be launching an Anfield Agenda section on the lineupbuilder.co.uk website that you guys can go on and make your Anfield Agenda predicted team. So you can go on there with our branding, make your team, post with the socials. It's just a little thank you, I guess, to the guys as well. And thank you from them for all of our help towards them and for their help with us. They're helping us build our back-end system. So, lineupbuilder.co.uk, you're going to have an Anfield Agenda section on there to create your team. I think Amorim will be a good fit for Liverpool, said LFC fan. I'm going to the Arsenal pre-season game. It'll be my first, said the boy Wispy. Oh, over in the States. Nice. Enjoy. Arne Slot for me over Amorim, 100%. I reckon Barcelona will grab him though. So I do like him as a coach, but I don't know that jump from the Eredivisie to the Prem. I know you might push back to me and say, Craig, the jump from the Portuguese Primeira Division to the Prem is quite steep as well, but I don't know, man. Amorim seems like a special guy. And Arne Slot looks like a very good coach, as we mentioned yesterday and previously. Spurs gave him serious consideration before going for Ange Postecoglou. So, yeah, I'm not in a disagreement with you about his quality. I don't think he's ready yet to come to Liverpool. Lads, who's going to watch WrestleMania? Not me, Darwizy. Not me. Those days are gone for me, I'm afraid. Craig, all bias aside, Cole Palmer and Foden are some players. Absolutely. I'm very, very glad Cole Palmer didn't stay at Man City, because him and Foden would have caused a whole lot of trouble. So I agree with you. Both very good footballers. Craig, how do I go cold turkey on a bird who's doing my head in a month or so into a relationship? I'm not touching that, mate. I would say is be respectful. Always be respectful. I've learned a lot over the years about the right way to treat the ladies in our lives, and be respectful. And I'm married now so long that me and my wife do each other's head in all the time anyway. So, thoughts on Man United last night? So we finished our stream last night. I was doing my post-match content and I seen a message in our Discord, not our Discord, in our WhatsApp from Ben saying, how did we lose that? And I'm thinking, does Ben not know United came back and won 3-2? Because I assumed that was the final score. And then I found out that no, Manchester United did indeed find a way to lose that game in the 100th minute and the 111th minute, I think it was. Something along those lines. But I don't know what to say. I hope we can inflict serious misery on them again this weekend. But I've learned my lesson about being cocky and arrogant about it. We've got to go there and put up this time. Or shut up, as they say. Good evening, Craig. Hope you and the family are well. All good, thank you, Rob. All good, thank you, mate. Hope yours are in good form as well. Craig, the thing about Amorim, do you think he'll be able to take the Premier League? Because the Portuguese League and the Premier League is way different to each other. Yes, I do. There's no denying that the next manager is going to be a roll of the dice. And it was always going to be. If it was Alonso, we'll say the same thing. Ruben Amorim, to me, is a really good fit. Everything that I've been able to find out about him, from his personality type to the way he deals with his players, I like. And the references he gets from players as well are glowing. So for me, this feels like the right decision if indeed he is unveiled as the new Liverpool manager, which is looking likely will happen. But there's risk involved. Absolutely. I can't sit here with any level of confidence and say, I know we will have a successful next couple of seasons. I don't know that. But I do feel like those who are doing the search are leaving no stone unturned. And by all accounts, I'm very happy if it's Ruben Amorim. I am. But I won't push back against anybody who's a little bit nervous, because we've had Jurgen for 9 years and we knew what we were getting as soon as he came through the door. We knew that he was going to deliver on what he said he was going to do, and he has. So it's always going to be somewhat not worrying, that's not the right word, nervy, a little bit nervy, but I truly think it's the right choice. But again, it's just my opinion. I think Michel would be a good choice. No chance in hell we're bringing in somebody from the Manchester City Football Group or the City Football Group. Perhaps he gets lined up as Pep Guardiola's replacement if he leaves Girona and Pep Guardiola leaves Manchester City. Maybe, his progression will be through to the Manchester City team. Craig, here's the question I was waiting for. Love it, Chris. Craig, if we beat United, do you think we win the league? My answer to that, mate, is yes. Very much so. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to destroy United. I'm not going to do that. But your question was, do we go on to win the league if we beat United? Or do I think we will? Yes. And I think, chatting with some people in the Discord earlier on, I think a lot of people have that mindset going into this game. I don't care how we win it. I don't care if we win it 2-1 in the 98th minute or if we win it 6-0. As long as we finish that game at Old Trafford at about 5:30 on Sunday with 3 points, still top of the league, that's all I can ask for at this point. Doesn't have to be vintage, but it does have to be 3 points. So, yes, I think if we beat Manchester United, it will underline our credentials as title favourites, and I believe we would go on to win the league, yes. Basically, really, every Liverpool player has only played under Jurgen Klopp as manager. Yeah. But one thing we haven't spoken about yet is that we have the greatest midfielder in the world. Oh, yes, we do. Alexis McAllister. Can we just take a minute to show some appreciation to how amazing Alexis has been in recent weeks and months? He's done a job for us all season in positions sometimes that he's not really accustomed to. But last night felt like an announcement, an I'm here moment. Obviously, the dude's won a World Cup. He's had a moment there. But for us, last night, when we needed him, like Stevie G over the years, he stepped up with one of the truest, cleanest strikes of a football you're going to see and buried it in the top corner. What isn't to love about that man? He is humble, he's hardworking, and he's really efficient. And it's just been amazing. Amazing to see him come to the fore. Because make no mistake about it, we needed somebody to do that last night. When that game went to 1-1, let's be honest, we all got a bit nervy. 15 minutes to go. We didn't give up hope. Well, some of us didn't. And Alexis stepped up and got the moment. And then, of course, Cody Gakpo finished up with a great goal as well to give us a bit of breathing room. But cometh the hour, cometh the man. And I think this man almost cometh a little bit as well when that ball went in the top corner. But that's for another day. Two best midfielders in the world, McAllister and Endo. What a bargain to John Power. Hope you guys get beat up 10-0 so the clown can get sacked, said Laser Snipes. So Ten Hag believes he's going to be in a job next season at Manchester United. I don't believe that now, but let's see what happens there. Watch all the lives from Rodriguez Island. Now, excuse my ignorance, my friend. I don't know where that is, but thank you so much for watching. Great to have you with us. We appreciate your support. Alexis Magnificent Callister. I like it. Why are people always looking at cons in managers? Even Klopp had a horrible last season at BVB. I get it, Ollie, or Olvi, excuse me. You are right. We seem to almost go defeatist at times, but I'm excited. Look, would I want Klopp to stay on? Absolutely. I think we all would. But accepting that he isn't, this is the one for me. I'm very happy about Ruben Amorim. Him or Xabi Alonso, either one of those two, I've said all the way through this process, were the top two on my list. So if it's Amorim, brilliant. Let's welcome him to the club and look forward to what the next evolution of this Liverpool team will look like. Danielson, Granados, thank you for your super chat, bro. Said, do you think we still play high pressing football under the next coach? What identity features you think have to stay? So yes, there will be pressing, but a different level of pressing. Jurgen Klopp likes to condense the pitch, make it really small. You've seen it actually as well in Manchester City and Arsenal's game. It's not uncommon to Manchester City and Arsenal. Actually, no, a better example of this is probably Arsenal's game against Luton the other night, where you see how high Arsenal's centre-back pairing were. They were halfway inside Luton's half, and they really compressed that pitch and made it small. We will get into a more tactical breakdown of Ruben Amorim's qualities and what you can expect at Liverpool, but it's also, like, he's a big believer in 3-4-3. Everything I've read states that he very much believes in this system, but it's going to be a big change for us because we've had many years now of Jurgen's 4-3-3 in some variation. And I'm personally going to have to get used to trying to break down and figure out the new formation and what it looked like. So what I would say is, a lot of the time with Ruben Amorim, his two number 10s are quite central, and then when they're attacking, they diagonally go outwards to create wider overlapping runs. Whereas Alonso's two number 10s are more inward. Think of them running from wide to centre rather than centre to wide. So more traditional wing backs in the Amorim system. But look, there's a lot to break down over this system, and I'm still playing catch up and getting to grips with how a Sporting side sets up. But they do play with that back three. Left hand side Inacio, centre Sebastian Coates, right hand side Diamonde. And I expect that we will play a similar way if he comes to Liverpool. Craig, thoughts on Valverde as a right mid wing back in Amorim's 3-4-3 system? So, honestly, I don't know the answer to that yet. I don't know how best to answer that yet. But what I will say is, I love the idea of Fede Valverde at Liverpool. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that we've put in that high of an offer. So, I wouldn't be holding my breath on it just yet. But you never know. Let's see what the transfer window brings. But we've a lot to get done first, right? So we've got to get the new coach in. Then that new coach has to have time to assess the squad. And remember, we're going to have Copa America. We're going to have the Euros on. So this is going to be a crazy summer. So the sooner we can get the managerial situation nailed down, the better. Barry, how are we, dude? Thank you so much for dropping in again and for a very kind super chat, Barry. Do you ever see Lucho on right and Mo in the middle? Think Lucho tracks back better these days. Don't want to have to cut back inside all the time on the left. He only played there like 3 times, 3 wins. So for the remainder of the season, do I see it happening? No. Let me rephrase this. I don't see Jurgen doing it for the remainder of the campaign. And I get the feeling we're going to sell a winger. At least one winger in this window. Could Diaz play on the right? Yeah, but Klopp likes to attack the half spaces, so the idea of inverted wingers kind of makes sense in the way Klopp wants to play. They play in that channel between the edge of the 6-yard box, the edge of the 18-yard box. If you drew lines like this, they're the areas Liverpool like to attack and get crosses in from. I only learned the reason why about 6 weeks ago. The statistical analysis of crossing positions on the pitch showed that if you can cross the ball inside that inside the half spaces rather than from wide areas, you're more likely to get favourable results from it. It was Jesse Marsh actually speaking on Monday Night Football that broke that down and actually gave me a much better understanding of it. But that's not the be all and end all, because look at last night. Look at Cody Gakpo's goal. Andy Robertson crossed that from a very wide area and it was a very early cross. So a lot of stuff to get used to, a lot of stuff to get to grips with, and I'm sure we'll all help each other through it. But in answer to your question, Mo Central is something that I thought is possible for a long time. Because often as players get older, they do reinvent the game a little bit. So for me, playing Mo through the middle, I'd have no issues with that. Tanya, thank you for gifting a membership, Tanya. You're very kind. Right, let's have a look at the poll. Will Ruben Amorim be our next manager? And 88% of you guys so far have said yes. So I think we can end that, because there's no point in letting it drag on. It's just going to be more yeses. And that's all right, because that's the answer we want. So, bit more news to go through. And it's going to come thick and fast today, so stay with me. What's this? So last night, Liverpool against Sheffield United. We may have left it late to go and win the game, but we did set a Premier League record. So Anfield Buzz posted to say, Liverpool have broken a Premier League record by having the most amount of possession in a single match. A remarkable 84% possession against Sheffield United. 84%, that is astounding. 84% possession is crazy. That's mental. It's absolutely mental. It just makes me think even more so, how the hell do we concede? But 84% possession is indeed a record. Right, something that came in, quote from Ruben Amorim on his press conference. He was asked, will you stay as Sporting manager? And he said, I cannot guarantee that I will stay at Sporting next season. I can't say that like Xabi Alonso did. We have to discuss my future. We'll have time at the right time. Now my focus is on winning titles and we will see what happens. Bring it in, Ruben. Come on, bring it in. I hope officials crack down on United fans should they start shouting horrible chants. Some are saying Motta is second choice, but not sure if it's true or not. So that's the Bologna coach, right? I have started to try and brush up a little bit on Thiago Motta because you guys have been talking to me about him. But I wouldn't even think we're going to be looking at second choices now. Let's look at what's happened over the last 24 hours in Ruben Amorim world, shall we say. And thank you, Stargirl, for your super chat. I want to point out, though, both sets of fans have to be warned ahead of this game. Tragedy chanting in any way, shape or form, be it from Liverpool fans or United fans or anybody else, needs to be removed from the game. So I'm fully with you on that one. And Jurgen Klopp, Eric Ten Hag have already come out and said, address this before the game. I'm sure both clubs will make a statement as well. And hopefully both sets of fans adhere to it, because there's loads we can banter each other about. Lots of stuff we can throw back and forth to each other. But tragedy chanting absolutely should not be part of any match day experience for anyone. So, in the last 24, 48 hours, in the world of the Liverpool Ruben Amorim situation, we've seen a few things. Cast yourself back about 3 days ago. Miguel Delaney put out a piece in the Independent that said Barcelona were frontrunners for Ruben Amorim. Now, I'm not saying this to knock him as a journalist whatsoever. I think Miguel Delaney is an incredibly good journalist, somebody holding the highest of esteem. But it shows you how quickly things can change. So that same evening, news started to come out to say that Barcelona won't be able to afford Ruben Amorim because they can't pay that release clause. So they've pulled away. Then we had news that Chelsea were interested in Ruben Amorim. Then they've been batted away. And as these stories have come on, Liverpool's interest and the stories about Liverpool's belief that they're going to get Amorim have stepped up. So now we've started to see negotiations are taking place between Liverpool and the representatives of Ruben Amorim about a financial package. We know what the parameters are for the release clause. Liverpool will probably have to pay somewhere between 10 and 20 million euro for that. It's believed there's two different prices, one for clubs inside Portugal, one for clubs outside Portugal. So all of this stuff over the last 48 hours just really is starting to paint the picture that Liverpool one, have made their focus, Ruben Amorim, and are starting to execute the plans to start the process to bring him into Liverpool. That's the way I read the situation. But I want to state, I don't have any inside news on this. I'm not professing to have. I'm the same as everybody else, reading everything I can and trying to find out what the hell's going on. Connor Bradley will thrive under Ruben Amorim, said Alec Thomas. Dude, I am right with you on that one. Very, very much agree with you. I think he'd be incredible. I think Trent will be as well. I think on the left-hand side, Andy Robertson would be brilliant under Ruben Amorim. I want to ask you guys a question, though. What do you think happens to Salah and Diaz this summer? So we know the Salah contract situation, which is going to make a headache for many of us, because you've got the emotional attachment to the player versus the potential correct business decision. So I'm interested to see what happens there. But Diaz, I'm starting to think maybe we do sell him, because not because he's not good enough or not because he doesn't like Liverpool, but because we don't look like we're going to be playing with wide players, and I don't see Diaz really operating as a wing back. He could, I'm sure, but it's been a lingering thought in the back of my mind for the last couple of days. What players may be sacrificed this summer? Is there going to be one or two unpalatable decisions that we don't really agree with? Will Trent be on the bench against United? No, I don't believe so. He said when he was speaking with Sky Sports last weekend, probably a couple of weeks, so I think it will come too soon. Maybe Atlanta, but let's wait and see. Basically, Vader said Salah will be sold. Diaz, I'm unsure on. Don, how are you, Don? Nice to see you, my man. Said Don Prey said, hey Craig and chat, hope we're all feeling, or how are we all feeling about Sunday? Confused, mate. That's genuinely how I'm feeling, because my rational brain said we should beat Manchester United, but it said that before the FA Cup game, and it said that before the game at Anfield earlier this season. So I'm feeling confused, mate, ahead of the game. Optimistic, but confused. Diaz could play as a number 10 in a 3-4-2-1 system. He could do, but I would argue that we probably have players better suited to that role, like Alexis McAllister, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Dominic Szoboszlai. But you are right, you could do it. I don't think it naturally suits him. When will the United preview be up? It's up, Jake. Went up at 6 o'clock, mate. Yeah, it's up on the channel now. Doing quite well, actually. Nice to see. But it is up there. If you get a chance, please do give it a watch and let me know your thoughts. I'm happy to give you my predicted 11 right now, by the way, because you guys are in here, so I might as well tell you. So I predicted a 4-2 victory for Liverpool. I think it's going to be one of them crazy Premier League games where United get desperate at times and the game's back and forth. So I can see goals. My predicted 11, I'd love your thoughts on. So obviously I've gone for Kelleher in goal, Bradley at right back, Robbo to come back in at left back. My reason being, I thought Robbo was brilliant when he came on against Sheffield United and immediately provided that great cross for Cody Gakpo. In midfield, centre-back pairings, Kanade and Van Dijk. Great to see that Kanade was able to continue playing on last night, because when he went to ground holding his knee, I feared the worst. In midfield, obviously Witoro's going to come back into the number 6 role. Personally, I've gone for Alexis McAllister and Harvey Elliott, because I think we need to do something different against United. And Szoboszlai has been up and down, and I just think Elliott deserves a start. I'm going to be honest, I think he deserves a start. I'll have no problem if he wants to go with Curtis Jones there either, by the way. I have no issues with that. But my team selection will be Endo, McAllister and Elliott, and then up top, as you would expect, Diaz on the left, Salah on the right, Darwin through the middle. That's my predicted 11. Barry, thank you for the super chat, said, Craig, heard a stat that Maka, the first Liverpool midfield player since Gerrard in 2013 to score or assist in 6 consecutive games in all competitions. Think I'm in a new bromance. Agree with your team. Sunday. Thank you, mate. And yeah, I think we're all in a bit of a bromance, or certainly we all have an extra soft spot for Alexis, because it just looks like a bargain, the money we paid from 37 million, something like that. Phoenix said, we just have to stay focused. United have a ton of speed on the counter-attack, but the defence is horrible. We need to take our chances and stay focused. So on their defence, They look like they're threadbare at centre-back. So, looks like there'll be no Johnny Evans, no Victor Lindelof, no Rafael Varane, no Lisandro Martinez, no Luke Shaw. So it looks like it'll be Harry Maguire and an academy product that will probably have to play at centre-back, unless he does something mad like puts McTominay back there at centre-back. So we should be able to get at United. And if you take into account the amount of shots United are already conceding over the last 5 or 6 games, you'd have to say the odds are there's going to be goals in it. Now, I don't know how many of you guys pay attention to Jones Knows, who's a guy who does the tips for Sky Sports. So if you ever go into the Sky Sports app, he gives you tips and predictions around betting and all this kind of stuff. But his score prediction for Manchester United versus Liverpool genuinely stopped me in my tracks. Do you want me to tell you what he predicted? He started off by saying somebody's going to give United a whooping between now and the end of the season. And he says this weekend he thinks will be it. So, he's predicted the final score on Sunday to be Manchester United 1, Liverpool 6. I would take that, thank you very much. I don't think it'll be that wide, but he's a man who looks at the numbers and he believes there could be a whooping on this weekend if things go in Liverpool's favour, if Liverpool show up. 6-1. Ooh, I wouldn't say no. Stargirl said, regarding the Amorim system, Klopp's team set up differently to ours. I would take no notice to what he's doing in Portugal. He'll pick the best setup for the players he's got, like Klopp has done. I agree. I think that's fair. He does seem very regimented in this 3-4-3, by the way. Right back from his time, I think it was Casapia, then Braga, Benfica, Youth, Sporting Lisbon. So yeah, he does. Everything I've read suggests that he's very much fixed on this 3-4-3 system. I'll take a 2-0, said Bobby Jakira. I'm cool with a 3-1 win, said Alejandro. Look, I'll take a 1-0 win. I'll take a 5-4 win. As long as we get 3 points. I don't care what the score is. It's just about leaving Old Trafford with 3 points. That's all I'm concerned about this weekend. 6-1 at home to Liverpool. That seems familiar from a certain London team, said Mario. Where did the news come from, said Trevor. Pedro Sepulveda, mate, who was a pretty damn good Portuguese journalist who was, I believe, and I'm open to being corrected on this, but I believe he was the one who broke the Darwin to Liverpool story initially. Who's better, Garnacho or Cole Palmer? Garnacho for me. Look, Cole Palmer's been brilliant, but he has had 7 penalties or something like that as well, let's not forget. So I think Garnacho's better. At least I'd rather have Garnacho at Liverpool over Cole Palmer. Maybe you disagree with me, I don't know, but I think I would use the phrase mercurial talent for Garnacho. But they're both really good young footballers. Cole Palmer, you got to applaud him for making that decision to leave Manchester City, go to Chelsea in search of first team football and deliver, because he has been one of the few consistent performers in that Chelsea team throughout the season. The Chelsea team that's, let's be honest, been a bit all over the place. Ivan Schwakoff was the reporter that broke he's down to Liverpool. Yeah, firstly, he's not a reporter. Secondly, no, he wasn't. And thirdly, we do love Ivan though. So, and if you're going to use his name, spell it right, dude. Come on, be fair to him. But he's not a reporter. But he's a good guy. Really nice person as well. Fan of the channel. Friend of the channel, I should say. But yeah, let's not be talking about breaking of anything like that. I've been saying for a while, Palmer's so overrated. I'm not saying he's bad, but people are putting him as player of the season conversations. No, not for me. Not near that level of consistency. As I said, 7 penalty goals, which is impressive, but it's still 7 penalty goals. Craig, it's kind of mad how far we are right with all the VAR and PGOL and injuries and everything. We're still top of the league and in the Europa League, and we won the Carabao Cup. Yep. But I'm expecting shenanigans from the referees at the weekend. Anthony Taylor will be the man in the middle from Greater Manchester. A referee who I think we have a pretty low win percentage with him refereeing. I seen it. Maybe I got that stat slightly mixed up, but there was some stat I seen the other day that it's not gone great with Anthony Taylor refereeing. How big was your smile after the Chelsea game? I was more... I don't know if I had a smile, Heavy Metal D, because yes, when United lose, it's usually a good day. But I also looked at it and thought, more likely to get a reaction from them. If I'm Eric Ten Hag, that's an easier team talk, you know. So, yeah, it was good to see them capitulate, but I just hope we can do the same. I hope we can wipe the floor with them on Sunday. I did like Jamie Carragher winded up Neville again saying £1 billion bottle jobs. That was quite funny. We should break the bank for Palmer. Why? I don't like this constant the grass is greener situation. We have players that can be every bit as good as Cole Palmer or better. Young players coming through. We don't need to go out there and spend the money for Cole Palmer. We have good young players at the club and more than enough in attacking areas as well. So I disagree entirely that we should go out to buy Cole Palmer. I think we should buy 2 centre backs and I don't know after that. I'm still on the fence about what other positions to strengthen. Do you think our title rivals drop points on Sunday? No. I know people are looking at Brighton Arsenal. It is Brighton Arsenal this weekend, isn't it? Or have I got that wrong? I go into every weekend now expecting everyone to do their jobs and win. So for us, we've just got to keep winning. Win, 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 win. And if somebody drops points, fair enough. But we got to make it our own. We've got to go and take the league title, not have it given to us. We've got to go and get it. And if we keep winning, there's nothing anybody can do. There's nothing Arsenal, Man City, all the money, all the will in the world. There's nothing they can do if we keep picking up 3 points. And every game that goes by is one more game ticked off, one more final finished. And if we can do this on Sunday, I think that will send a huge statement. Because make no mistake, City fans, Arsenal fans, they're looking at Sunday and they're thinking this is an opportunity for Liverpool to slip up and drop points. And we've got to keep disappointing them. What's your opinions on Amorim? I think he's a great coach. And the more I look into... I'm not going to sit here and say a year ago I knew all about Ruben Amorim. Absolutely did not. But as and when his name started to pop up for our job, I started to up my research, look into him, try to find out how likely it is that he'd be a success at Liverpool. And all I can say is everything I've read up on him has made me a little bit more confident that it's the right decision. But I've got to keep pointing this out because I don't want people to assume we're going to be winning everything next year. Any new manager in this situation is going to be somewhat of a risk. So I'm delighted that he's going to be the one by the looks of it. I think it's the right choice after we couldn't get Alonso. And it's up to the owners now as well to make sure that they give him every opportunity to succeed. Make sure that they back him with transfer funds if he asks for them. And make sure that we don't have the situation where the next manager is almost a sacrificial lamb or a make weight between the next manager after Klopp. We need to make sure that it works. No time for rebuilding. No time for falling back down the league table. We need to make sure that we're there or thereabouts again. And I think we're getting the right man. Hello, mate. Sorry, I'm going to read this again. How do you see if Ruben Amorim signs Inacio? He can grow very well with VVD. He can be a beast for a long term with Kanade and Kwanzaa. If we signed Inacio and we had Kanade, Van Dijk, Gomez, Kwanzaa, I think we still need one more in the system we'd be playing, but that's a great collection of centre backs. So yeah, I think Inacio would be a good fit. I think that left side of centre-back would be the area we do need to bring somebody in for. Kanade can very easily play on the right side of the defence. Van Dijk through the centre, obviously. Yeah, I think Inacio would be a good fit. Don't know if he's going to come, but we'd already been linked to him before the Amorim stuff, so it makes sense that if he's one of Amorim's trusted lieutenants, that maybe he'd look to him. Inacio looks a bit slow to me. Hopefully I'm wrong if ever we sign him. So one thing to remember if you're looking at Ruben Amorim's centre-backs, He wants ball carriers. He wants centre-backs who are going to feel free to move that ball into midfield and into the opposition half. Ironically, Joel Matip probably would have been a great fit, because we know Joel Matip loves to go on a little run into the opposition territory, as does Ibrahim Konate. So that's one of the qualities that I've been able to figure out and find out that Ruben Amorim wants from those three centre-backs, is the ability to pass through the lines and carry the ball forward. I'm so happy Klopp kept his word and leave Liverpool a better team than when he arrived, said Freedom. Absolutely. And I never doubted that for 1 second that he would. Didn't know he'd necessarily win us titles or whatever, but I did know that he would be a man of his word. And he is leaving us in a very strong position. And hopefully he's leaving us as Premier League champions, but we'll find that out over the next 8 games. Right, so the supercomputer's been at it again, folks. The Optus supercomputer. And let me just get you the stats on this 1 second. Just get my notes open. Where's this supercomputer? Here we go. So, with all three teams now having played 30 games this season, the Optus supercomputer is giving Liverpool a 45% chance of winning the league. Manchester City are at 33.6% and Arsenal at 21.4%. So Liverpool, as I've mentioned, favourites to go on and do it. And I think if we get past United on Sunday, it's ours. But it's easy saying to get past United on Sunday. We got to go and do that. Did you see Caicedo square pants running around Man United goal? Yes. Big mistake from him. And I mean, let me pose this question to you. Why do you think Caicedo has been so poor since he's gone into Chelsea? It's been something that's been at the back of my mind since. Like, I know people will say, oh, we dodged the bullet. And maybe we did. But there's a player in there. Like, we know he's a very good player. Why is it not happening for him at Chelsea? Because he's surrounded by good operators in that midfield. You know, Enzo Fernandez alongside him. Conor Gallagher's been pretty consistent in there. It is genuinely baffling to me that he's been so bang average since he's gone into Chelsea. He went for the money, said Ibad Imran. The Chelsea effect, said Toes. When will you announce other locations? Oh, for the shows, Dylan. Well, I can tell you the locations now, mate, but the tickets for the other 2 shows, we've got 4 shows booked in. Dublin and Belfast are on sale right now, and I'm going to just bring that up on screen just so people can see. The link is in the description of this and pinned to the top of the chat for those tickets. So Dublin and Belfast are on sale right now, but the shows that you're probably asking about, we're going to be in Cardiff on the 2nd of August, where we've pretty much booked the venue. So we're going to be in Cardiff on the 2nd of August, and then we're going to be in Liverpool on August the 4th. We're going to be at the Hot Water Comedy Club in Liverpool on August the 4th, and we're going to be at the Richard Burton Theatre in Cardiff on August the 2nd. So those are going to go on sale. See, we're handling the ticket sales for Cardiff ourselves, so they're going to go on sale in May, as far as I'm aware. Seems too early to be selling them now. So May for Liverpool and Cardiff. Would you go with Amorim or Pep Linders? Amorim. But I do like the idea of Linders going to Ajax or wherever, getting a bit of a managerial experience again. And I see him coming back to Liverpool someday. I do. I don't think we've seen the last of Pep Linders at Liverpool. H1 Talks Football. How are you, my friend? Thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Caicedo regret is a terrible thing, said Big Meal. Look, I'm not going to rewrite history and say I wouldn't have liked him. I would have absolutely loved Caicedo. But you got to say again, Kloppo got it right. You know, he told us that Endo was going to be that guy, and Endo has become that guy. And it's great that Endo was able to get a rest as well midweek. So hopefully we've got a hungry, focused, ready to go Endo for Old Trafford. Love from Croatia. Thank you, Bruno. Let me just say something real quick actually on that. So the lads put up a short video the other day, last night, about... I said yesterday that yesterday was just a dream day for me, you know, that the tickets to see Anfield Agenda on Ticketmaster, to see the shows being announced, it was just a dream day. And I don't usually read a lot of comments on YouTube because, well, but I read the comments under that short, and I want to say thank you to everybody for just being good people, because the comments underneath, there wasn't one lousy one. Every single one of them were just really kind and really nice. And honestly, it nearly brought a tear to my eye sitting there with my wife this afternoon reading them. It was so lovely. And to see so many people say that it's our hard work and the way that we conduct ourselves, and it's nice to see people pulling for us, and thank you for that, because it does not go unnoticed, I promise you. I know at times those content creators often talk about the negative stuff, the people who are trolling us, the toxic comments. But when you see the ones like yesterday and the positive stuff, it makes so much of a difference. I felt like I was walking on a cloud. So I want to thank you all again for that. Do I like the Sidemen? I know who they are, but I wouldn't say I like or dislike, because I don't really watch much stuff. I can say my daughter absolutely loves them. But I don't know, much about their content other than obviously they're huge, really, really successful fellas. Do you see Mo playing 007 in the new Liverpool video? I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, mate. I've been so crazy busy today with stuff, the tickets going on sale today, with stuff behind the scenes, like for the improvements that we're getting done for. I'll give you a little insight into what's coming up on the channel. We're gonna have the ability to drag players around on screen now, to show you different formations instantly. We're going to have the ability to bring up super chats instantly. We're going to have the ability to get you stats, up-to-date stats on every individual player. All these things is part of the technology we're working on behind the scenes with our friends at lineupbuilder.co.uk. And as I said before, Lineup Builder have now are about to launch an Anfield Agenda section on the app and the website where you can make your Liverpool team with the Anfield Agenda branding and stuff. So much has gone on behind the scenes that we haven't really been able to talk about, but we have Ben and Connor and the guys at Lineup Builder have been working so hard to get this new system ready to go, and it's going to, I think it's going to be something that others are going to look on at with envy. I'm so proud of the team, the way that they've worked to build it, and it's the biggest investment we've made from the channel's perspective ever. Craig, is there any news if more players will be back for a game against United? I don't believe there will be any more back, no. I think Endo coming back is probably going to be it, with regards to players coming back. After that, the following week, Jota and Trent look like the next closest. What's this stat? So Jurgen Klopp is speaking about learning from that defeat to Manchester United in the FA Cup, and he said the story of the game, we spoke after the game about it, they started better, then we took over, we were really good that day, but we didn't finish the situations off in extra time. The good news is we will not have 15 minutes of extra time. That was too much for us that day. We couldn't control it anymore, made mistakes we didn't make before, and United turned the game around. And he's right. We need to learn lessons from that day. We need to not be wasteful, and we need to put United to the sword. Okay, there's two more little quick things I wanted to talk about. I'm sure you've seen this announcement earlier on, but Liverpool are going to be increasing ticket prices by 2%. Now, I understand that people have different opinions on these things, and I understand that everybody's financial and living situations are different. But I've also seen some pushback and some outrage at the 2% price increase. Liverpool, as far as I'm aware, haven't increased ticket prices in 6 years. And a 2% increase when the club are reporting that their operating costs have gone up by 40% for games at Anfield doesn't seem unreasonable to me. The £9 local and junior ticket price will remain the same. That won't change. And I believe this increase will see Liverpool's most expensive matchday ticket in the main stand, normal tickets I'm speaking about, at £61. So I just think sometimes people need to be a little bit realistic. 2% increase compared to what I've seen from other Premier League clubs is not unreasonable after 6 years. So I don't understand why there's so much pushback from supporters unions and stuff. I get it. I'm not trying to say people aren't having hard times. I'm not trying to say there aren't issues that need to be resolved. I seen Spirit of Shankly make a statement that said they want that next generation of Liverpool fans to be able to come in, be educated in the ways and go through. I agree wholeheartedly. But 2% just seems reasonable to me in a time of the world where everything has gone up. Your electricity prices, everyone's cost of living has gone up. It's crap that it's going up. I get it. But I think we need to be realistic. 2% seems reasonable to me. But I want to point out, I'm not saying people won't already be struggling. I understand that, but look at the London prices or some of the other clubs, and I think 2% increase isn't too bad. Here's one that caught my eye last night, right? And this, to me, tells me everything I need to know. So one of the brains who helped the development of VAR has admitted that it is an innovation he takes little pride in as it continues to dominate the headlines in football. So there you go. One of the people who helped make VAR, one of the people who are behind building that technology, has said that he has zero, or very little, I should say, I don't want to put words in his mouth, he's got a very little pride in being part of that system. I want rid of it. I want rid of it out of football. I do, and I didn't think I'd be on this side of the fence. I think there are things that have come into football and things in technology that have been really good. Goal line technology is amazing. I like the semi-automated offside technology. If that can be perfected, brilliant. But VAR has been a farce because all it's done is give referees a get out of jail free card. This clear and obvious nonsense needs to stop. We're being shafted. Many clubs are being shafted by these little gombeans, to use an Irish word, that is being led by Howard Webb and his band of merry morons. And we deserve better. So we need to stop the power grab by these guys, because they shouldn't have. One of the things we talked about last night was how little that referee last night impacted the game. How it just went about its business. And there wasn't many major talking points, and the referee was almost invisible in the game. That's how it should be. You don't want to be talking about a referee. Referees are part of the process. They aren't the process. No way should referees have the ability to influence the outcomes of games of football or title races. And I don't care what anybody else tells me. Nobody will convince me that the PGMOL are not putting up barriers in our way. Nobody will convince me that Martin Odegaard's handball wasn't a penalty, that Doku's kick on McAllister wasn't a penalty, that Lucho's goal against Spurs wasn't a goal. Nobody will convince me of those things. Nobody will convince me of those dodgy red cards against Spurs. We've been shafted time and time again. And I'm not saying it's a Liverpool-centric problem, but I am saying somebody needs to grow a pair and hold these people to account. Because how can you not send the ref to the monitor for that McAllister kick to the chest or for the handball from Odegaard? I'll tell you why. Because they know damn well that if they sent the referee to the monitor, he'd have no choice but to give a penalty. So they bottled it. And when we win the Premier League, it will be in spite of the PGMOL. But we shouldn't keep letting them away with it. Somebody needs to grow up and grow a pair and say this isn't good enough. The standard of officiating is horrendous. Look at Vincent Kompany, speaking again from Burnley's perspective. I'm sure if you ask the Forest fans, they'll have a lot to say. Wolves, Gary O'Neill, I'm sure he'd have a lot to say. You talk to United fans, they'll have their own ones. I only remember the Liverpool ones because I'm a Liverpool fan. But we deserve so much better than the standard of crap we're getting dealt up. How do I feel about Klopp leaving Liverpool? Heartbroken. When Klopp signed that new deal till 2026, I was so happy. And I didn't think we'd have to have this conversation. So yeah, when my wife woke me up that day to say that Jurgen Klopp had announced he was leaving Liverpool, I'm still processing it in all honesty. You know, I'm still almost burying my head in the sand about it. But I think it'll really hit me the last couple of weeks. My admiration for the players for being able to stay focused like they have is incredible, you know, because I know it's affected me in a huge way, and I know it's affected all of you guys in a huge way, but he's brilliant. He's an icon and will always be an icon at Liverpool. I love the man. You know, I don't agree with him on everything, but he not only is he a great coach, he is a good man. He is a good, honest, says it as he sees it, just a good person. It's been an honour, a pleasure to have that man at the football club. Like, I'll never forget it. VAR, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Ugh. Yeah, I wasn't just randomly singing that. It was written in the chat, by the way. So, in case you think I've just lost my mind and start randomly singing. So, I want to take a little straw poll if I can. Can anybody that's bought a ticket to the Dublin or Belfast show that's in the chat just give me a thumbs up in the chat? Because I'm just trying to gauge where we are on the first day. I'm very nervous about all this. So if you've bought a ticket to the Dublin or Belfast show, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Watch there be no thumbs up in the chat now with me sitting here sweating. Even if I kind of feel nothing for the Manx, I still feel the penalties they got against them in the match against Chelsea were dodgy. Would be furious if this was against us. I agree. The Cucurella one was, I don't know how that was a penalty. It was ridiculous for me. If that was given against us, I would be fuming. So I get you. And it's okay to call out, like, if you see bad decisions against United, it's okay to call that out. You know, we should be, because it's still poor officiating. And we need, if we're talking about the referees, we need to remove tribalism from it. Because it's very easy to go down that rabbit hole of just thinking, ha ha ha, let's laugh at them, it happened to them. But if it's wrong decision making, it's wrong decision making. A couple of people have bought tickets. Nice. Heavy Metal D giving me a thumbs down. I didn't ask for thumbs down. That would be a load of thumbs down if we're going down that route. But nice. A few people have got tickets. Appreciate that. Look forward to seeing you as well. It's going to be a fun night. Bobby Farrell, how are you, bud? Said that beauty from Macca gave me goosebumps. It reminded me so much of Gerrard. Absolutely. That was his Olympiacos moment. That was his FA Cup final against West Ham moment. It was not just the fact that he scored it. It was how he scored it. I'd love to... Did anybody see what speed that ball was travelling? I'm sure somebody somewhere has that stat. I'd love to know the speed that ball hit the back of the net at, because nobody was stopping that. Nobody. Who do you think drops out of the title race first? It's a really good question. If you're looking at statistically, Arsenal, probably. They've got the harder fixtures, and the supercomputer has given them the lowest odds of winning it. So, maybe Arsenal, but here's how I feel with 8 games to go. I think 7 wins and a draw and we win the league. Anything less than that and we don't win it. That's where I'm at with it. Craig, will you be streaming your live events? Nope, we won't be, Simon, for a couple of reasons. One, I'd be cancelled, because at live shows you say stuff you don't say. You give the libelous stuff, like you say it as it is. You know, you talk about stuff that you wouldn't dare talk about on a stream, from a personal level and from a professional level. So no, it's just going to be an on the night thing where, you know, we're present and we just enjoy each other's company and we have a bit of fun. Barry, look at this, Barry. 50 gifted memberships from Barry as well. Wow. Absolutely incredible, Barry. Thank you. And Brian as well. Thank you. Jen gifted 5 earlier on as well. Thank you, Jen. Absolutely incredible. Thank you. You're a superstar, mate. And as is Brian. I don't know what we've done to deserve both of you, but incredible. Can't wait to meet you, said Ian. Again, absolutely. I'll make sure that there is time after the show that we go down and say hello to everybody, have a drink and a conversation. That's part of my plans for every single show, is that we have photo time, photographs, have a drink, conversations. Definitely. I can't wait to meet everybody else as well. Alexis Magic was 63 kilometers an hour. It's only that? God, I would have thought it was a bit faster than that, but... So 63 kilometers an hour, what? That's about 44, 45 miles per hour. Really do hope to get to a show in the future. Thank you, Ryan. I hope there will be more of them as well, mate. Yeah. The plan is to do 2 at the end of the season, which is the Dublin Belfast, and then 2 to start off next season, which will be Liverpool and Cardiff. But if they go well, there's nothing to say we won't throw some more on. Any words for De Zerbi links? They've gone very, very quiet, and he isn't under consideration at this point for the Liverpool job. Bayern Munich, very strong consideration for De Zerbi there, and I can't really say for certain on the Barcelona situation, but at this moment in time, I'd say Bayern are probably the most likely for De Zerbi. Izzy, yes, Barry is a legend, absolutely is. Thank you so much for your super chat, Izzy, and I hope you're well. Craig, should there be a stadium ban if somebody does tragedy chanting? My initial instinct, of course, is to say yes. But I do think it differs depending on who it is. So let me say, if I seen a 15-year-old kid tragedy chanting, would I want that kid banned from football stadiums? Honestly, I'd like them educated. If it's an adult, I think it's a different situation. I think a lot of the time we see kids at football grounds singing songs that they don't really know the true meaning of or the meaning behind. They've just picked it up being there. So I think education is key for the younger people. And yes, bans for those who tragedy chant. Absolutely. I'm not here to say how long those bans should be, but it needs to be stamped out. It just does. There's nothing funny about it from any perspective, whether it's the Bradford City fire, whether it's what happened at Heysel, at Hillsborough, whether it's Munich. None of it is funny. None of it is mockable. It is human lives that have been lost from people who simply just wanted to go to a game of football. I don't know what type of scumbag lowlife thinks that's fair game to mock. Honestly, it baffles me what goes through these people's heads. Going to Coventry versus Leeds tomorrow. So happy, no VAR. I'll be Dublin ticket. Thank you, Ella. Look forward to catching up with you again at the show in Dublin. We've upped the ante this time going to the Academy. It's an expensive venue to go to, but it's also a really cool venue. So enjoy the game as well, Ella. Asantino, thank you, buddy, for gifting 5 Anfield Agenda memberships. Again, so kind of you guys. Thank you. Some great European matches coming up next week, said Nick. There are. Of course, we play Atalanta on the Thursday. Big games in the Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Yeah, football. As football fans, we're going to be in for some good games this week. Can I sing at your wedding? Danny, if you want me to empty the venue for you, then yeah. So, I'll tell you what, Danny. I'll sing at your wedding if I can also officiate the wedding. Because I've always wanted to have a bash at marrying people. I won't lie. I wouldn't mind a bash at that. Can you go back over the title? Just go here. Absolutely. No problem, buddy. No problemo. Let me just go back to my notes for you. So, things started to really ramp up over the last couple of hours, right? So, we started off with a post from Fabrizio that was talking about Ruben Amorim's press conference and just giving some quotes from what he said. And he said, I cannot guarantee that I will stay at Sporting next season. I can't say that like Xabi Alonso did. We have time to discuss my future. We'll do it at the right time. Now, focus on winning titles and then we'll see what happens. So that was just normal enough stuff that you would expect at the press conference. But as the day went on and Pedro Sepulveda started to put out information, it became better and better and better looking for us. So this first post said, reliable Portuguese journalist Pedro Sepulveda has just stated that there's a 70% chance that Ruben Amorim will be Liverpool's next manager. That was followed up by a post that said Ruben Amorim is open to joining Liverpool. Then as the day went on and the evening went on, they ramped up a bit. Liverpool are confident of Ruben Amorim being their next coach, was posted by Anfield Sector. And then the one that really caught my attention, which was Anfield Sector saying, exclusive breaking, an agreement with Amorim's entourage regarding finances could be met in the next few days or in the coming days. So, yeah, it's looking more and more likely that it's going to be Amorim. And we know what we'll have to do with Sporting, pay that release clause, but it looks like he's up for it. And yeah, I think it's the right decision. And the sooner the better we get clarity on it. I think we can put it out of our minds for now and then focus on the last dance with Jurgen. The story that I mentioned at the start that really was a strange one, though, was one that was posted by LFC Transfer Room, but they've credited at ldebate.com or ldebate_com. They said Liverpool have offered £128 million for Fede Valverde through intermediaries, and the offer is still on the table. Valverde is a dream for Liverpool, and they followed him for many years. I see. There is a kernel of truth in this, at least. Liverpool have been admirers of Valverde for a long time, particularly Jurgen Klopp. So that much is true. And of course, Darwin being his Uruguay international teammate makes it potential to be believable. I don't see the need for us to spend 128 million on Valverde. But actually, I'm going to ask you guys, do you think there's any truth to it? That's probably the easiest way to figure this out. One second. What was it again? 120 what? 128. Right. Do you believe we buy Valverde for £128 million? I'll leave that running for the remainder of the stream, and you guys can vote yay or nay. I can't see us spending that much, to be honest, at David Coker. Nor can I, mate. But let me go this way. Let's say Liverpool sold Mo for 100 odd million quid. And we had a lump sum of cash there on top of whatever else the transfer budget was going to be. Is it possible? Maybe. But I just keep coming back to one fact. When's the last time we bought a player from Real Madrid? I don't remember it happening. We traded Michael Owen there, and we got some players as part of that. But other than that, I don't remember the last time we sold or bought a player to or from Real Madrid. McManaman went the other direction, but I can't remember. I'm not even sure if we have. So yeah, there's the fact to go and spend. It more stings to me of Madrid trying to ramp up interest in players because they've got Endrick coming in. They've got Mbappe most likely coming in. And there's loads of chatter that they're going to try and get Haaland in at some point. And to do any of that, I guess they're probably going to have to free up some money. Have I ever played GTA? Yes, but many, many, many years ago. What do I don't know who that is. Is Ben okay? I can see that he deactivated his X account. Yeah, Ben's good. Ben's just come to the same realization that I did, that it's just too toxic a place to be part of. I deleted my own account. I haven't logged into my own account in probably 2 years now. I don't have access to any of the Anfield Agenda social media accounts. You'll never see me on X, on Instagram, TikTok. I don't post on any of them. I think Ben's just come to the same realization. It's just the negatives of being on Twitter or X these days far outweigh the positives. And my mental health has been way better since I've been off social media. I feel a lot better about myself. And I think Ben has probably come to the same conclusion, that he's just looked at it and thought, it's not worth it anymore. But no, he's all good, thank you. Appreciate you looking out for him though, boy, he is all good. In your opinion, who should we sign? Inacio. I do really like the idea of Inacio on the left side of the defence. I don't think Nkapie is going to be possible because I think Bayer Leverkusen are going to do everything to keep that team together for one more year. I'd love us to get somebody like a Wirtz. Again, won't leave Leverkusen. or a Jamal Musiala if in an ideal world. I'd like us to sell Costas and bring in another left back to compete with Robertson for the left wing back position. Maybe it's Luke Chambers. Maybe he gets promoted up. Other than that, maybe one more centre back, but I'm not sure which particular part of the back three that centre back would need to be. My initial instinct is central is probably the one. Maybe to compete with Verge, or to give Verge a chance to be rotated or rested. Did I see Goldbridge's "I don't want to do this anymore" meltdown yesterday? Look, I'm going to just respectfully not talk about him anymore, because there's no goodness in him. There's no goodness talking about him. There's just nothing positive to be said, so I'm just going to not say anything about him. I don't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth about meltdowns or otherwise, because I don't believe that he actually cares about Manchester United. But look, as I've said before, leave it be. Let him have his meltdown. We all have meltdowns when our team loses. Yeah, just I'd rather not talk about it. Did Morientes come from Madrid? I can't remember if he went to Monaco before or after he came to us. Yeah, that much I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure somebody in the chat will know. Do you think Trent will go to Real Madrid? No. Trent wants to be Liverpool captain, and I think Trent stays and signs a new contract. I hope Trent stays and signs a new contract as well, but that's another thing we have to get sorted ASAP. You know, there's 3 big contract renewals that need to be sorted. And I would very much like those to be sorted before the lads break for the end of the season. Can a United fan go to one of your shows? Absolutely, Danny. There was United fans at our last show in Dublin and we had a great chat, and it gave a great mix to the room as well, actually, because, you know, we're there to speak about Liverpool, of course, but it's always good to gauge other fans' opinions. Everybody is welcome at any of our shows, my man. Everybody. As long as you're up for having a good time, having a sing-along and coming and enjoying the night with us, absolutely everyone's welcome. Maguire ain't going to enjoy dealing with Nunez on Sunday, but he's not sleeping too well. I bet he's not sleeping too well. Oh, yeah. They are really struggling at centre-back. They really are. Maguire, I think, is their only fit senior centre-back. So the boys should be looking to feast, you're right. But again, I'm just wary about being too arrogant going into this game, because we haven't beaten them this season yet. You know, as much as we all think we're better than United, and we are, we haven't proved it this season. So fingers crossed we prove it on Sunday. Craig, your content is so wholesome and honest, inspiring. Wholesome? Wow. Of all the words used to describe me over the years, wholesome. I mean, I've reined in some of the swearing a little bit, yeah, but I'll take it. I'll take it, mate. Thank you. Any news for Amorim? Yeah, we mentioned lots of news earlier on. The biggest breaking news is that we believe that an agreement on the finances will be agreed with Liverpool and Amorim's representatives in the coming days, according to Pedro Sepulveda. Liverpool are confident that Ruben Amorim will be their next coach, was another quote from the same journalist. Barcelona are out of the race. Chelsea are out of the race. So, yeah, it's looking really positive. But I've got to be honest, sometimes I will have information on things that I can talk about. I have nothing on this. Nothing. I'm like everybody else. I'm just trying to read out as much stuff and find out as much stuff and research as much stuff as I can, but I'm reliant on the journalists on this one. Morientes was a Madrid player when he came to Liverpool. It was a loan he was on with Monaco. Thank you for that, Mark. You're awesome, Craig. Thank you, Daniel. Again, this feels so surreal to me. I have huge imposter syndrome doing all of this. I feel like there's a mistake here somewhere and somebody pressed the wrong button or something, and I don't understand it, but I appreciate it. I don't see the appeal, but I appreciate it. Besides Liverpool, which team has a great squad? Arsenal have a very good squad. Obviously Manchester City have a good squad, but I don't think it's the best squad Manchester City have had under Pep Guardiola. Spurs are on the way to having a good squad, but they still have some glaring deficiencies. I mean, you've got to be massively impressed with Brighton's ability to keep selling and losing big players and still finding really good talent. So the work that they do is incredible. I'm not saying this for bait or to take a low shot, but United's squad is a disgrace. I mean, you can look at the front three and see some positivity there, but outside of that, United's player recruitment has been shambolic, like terrible, really bad. And I take immense pleasure in saying that. I do. Really bad. Craig, you own it, mate. Great bunch in here. Thank you, LFC Love. It's your time, Craig. Don't doubt it. Drink it in and own it. I like that. I like that. It's your time. Feels like that. Feels like the tides are turning towards us a bit and people are starting to see the channel in a different light, I think. It's all new to me, but I am trying to take it in, Coach Bill. I am. I can't think of another time in Premier League history that a new manager comes in when every player's stock has gone up, said Jonathan Dobbs. Yeah, you're kind of echoing, Jonathan, what I've said a lot myself. This is a great opportunity for any young coach or any manager who's offered this job. As Jonathan has rightly pointed out there, like, what other time in your career are you going to get offered a job where you're potentially walking into Premier League champions, definitely walking into a team who've won a domestic cup, maybe another European triumph in the Europa League, with a squad that was refreshed well last summer, bringing in Alexis McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and the other players that came through the door. Really good academy system, producing great players. It's a wet dream for a manager, and it is a job and an opportunity that probably is a once in a lifetime thing, because when you usually get a job, it's because somebody's failed, or players have turned on the manager, or fans have turned on the manager. With Liverpool, it's just genuinely Jurgen needs the break and everything else is great. So yeah, whoever comes in and gets the job is getting a really, really good job. Have I ever considered making a gaming channel? I don't play computer games. I've never really been a gamer. Never really appealed to me. I am going to make a Craig Reviews channel over the summer where I review things that I like food, gadgets, technology, football stuff. That will be coming. Yes, that channel I will do at some point. Thanks for all the effort and also all the kind fans here who showed love when I revealed that I'm an overseas fan. One thing I will say that I am most proud of is our community. Honestly, I can't speak for other YouTube channels, but I can say wholeheartedly that this channel and its community is filled with some of the nicest, kindest, welcoming, sincere people, and it's been a pleasure. So it's no surprise to me that you've been made feel welcome when you've come in, mate, because we don't judge. If you're a fan of Liverpool for a day, a week, a month or a year, doesn't matter to us, welcome in. If you're willing to be part of our community, to show love and support to each other, that's all it's about, my man. So yeah, welcome in and great to have you with us. So we said, do you believe that we would buy Valverde for 128 million? 83% of you said no. So yes, I think we can safely say nobody's expecting Liverpool to pay that money. It's Friday night. I want to carry on. Who's sticking with me to 10:30? I feel like I've got another half hour in me. I'm enjoying this stream tonight. It's been a great couple of days, and I want to keep going and read more of your comments and having more chat. So I'm going to stay on till 10:30. If anyone wants to stay with me, if you've got to head off, by all means, I understand it, and thank you for your time this evening. But I'm staying on for a bit because I'm enjoying myself. Darwin will become clinical. Who's the future six? So, explain the question. The future six, do you mean after Endo? If that's the case, by Chechic for me. I think Stefan has the potential to be a 6 or an 8. But I think him, off the top of my head, it has to be him. I think United will lack confidence since they lost embarrassingly. That will limit them on Sunday. So 3-1 for me, said Ayan. And again, mate, can't wait to meet you in the Dublin show, and thank you for getting your ticket. It can go one of two ways, I guess. You can look at the United result and think that it will provoke a response from them. But a couple of things have to happen. We have to respond to the defeat against United in the FA Cup. We have to go for the jugular, and we have to be more clinical than we were in that FA Cup game. United's defence is there to be gotten at. I don't think even the most hardcore United fan would deny that at the minute. They're lacking in the availability of players, and they're conceding a lot of opportunities and shots. So we will get chances, but we have to stick them away. What makes me nervous is how we start the game on Sunday, because we've been almost cock-cold on a few occasions in recent weeks, and we need to be quicker starting off. We can't be as delayed starting the game as we were. We nearly conceded in the first minute against Sheffield United yesterday. What's this? Everton will discover next week what punishment they'll receive for a second breach of the financial sustainable rules, or the sustainability rules. Actually, I have a little bit of an update on that. You know the way yesterday we were talking about the, what are they called? Luxury tax? Is that what it was called? So the Times did a piece and they said the Premier League is set to keep points deductions for breaches of the financial rules, but it's considering having a tariff that would impose only fines on clubs for lesser offences. So the points deduction is still going to be in play, according to the Times, and that there would be a fine for clubs with lesser offences. It doesn't really have more detail at the moment on that, but people were asking yesterday about that luxury tax and would that mean that City get away with it. I don't think it would be retroactively applied, but it also wouldn't make sense, because, like, again, I'm talking about in Manchester City, a team backed by a country, a state. No jeopardy involved. They can keep throwing money at it forever. So I hope that the points deductions do stay there, because we all want to see Manchester City relegated out of... I want to see them relegated into oblivion, in all honesty, which I don't give a shit if that tin pot club doesn't exist anymore. I despise everything about them and everything about the way they operate, the duplicitous nature of it, in my opinion. I hate them, despise them. They're a pest. No respect, zero. So I hope they get what's coming to them, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. Trav gifted 5 Anfield Agenda memberships. Very kind of you, do. Thank you. Craig, if you could choose to add one player in our history, who would it be? To this Liverpool team right now? It's Gerrard. It's got to be Gerrard. It's got to be. Imagine Gerrard, McAllister and Szoboszlai. It'd have to be Gerrard. If you asked me that question before we signed Endo, I'd probably have gone for Mascherano or Alonso, but probably Gerrard. Yeah, probably Gerrard right now. Imagine Gerrard in behind our forwards. Be incredible. Or Luis Suarez. I wouldn't say no. Imagine Suarez and Darwin up top if Suarez was in his prime. Do I have more respect for United or City? 100% Manchester United. Look, we have a sporting rivalry with United, but I respect the club. I respect their fan base. I respect what they stand for. And I know all clubs are a little bit grubby behind the scenes and say some things and actually do others, but I have respect for Manchester United. I have respect for Arsenal. I have zero for this Manchester City. The older City? Absolutely. Great club, great loyal fan base, but this new incarnation of City, nah. But yeah, I do have lots of respect for United. I hate them from the perspective of wanting them to win anything now. But it's the game I look out for every year. It's the game I grew up looking out for, and yeah, respect is the word I'd use for sporting rivalry. FFG? Do you mean FSG? Wouldn't pay 128 million, and for that price, we should be buying young talent like Endrick. My initial thoughts at Marco is yes, they wouldn't pay it, but they were willing to pay the money for Caicedo, who wasn't younger. I'm with you on that one. I just don't think there's a need to pay that much money for Valverde above all else. Should we give Sepp van den Berg a go following positive loan spells? That's the most interesting decision of the summer for me, Aaron. He's done well at Mainz on loan, and it does feel like a summer where Sepp van den Berg's future deserves to be resolved, one way or the other. What happens, I don't know. Should we give him a try? Yeah, probably. Certainly pre-season anyway. I think Sepp van den Berg deserves the opportunity to come back to the AXA training centre and show the new manager what he's about. Yeah, absolutely. Whether he makes it or not, look, that's another thing. But I think he deserves a chance to impress. Craig, I think you should do reaction videos. It would 100% take off. Please explain that to me. Like you're talking to an idiot, because you are. Reactions to what exactly? I don't know what you mean. Football stuff, media stories. I'm open to any types of suggestions. Trent or Bradley will be a fight for the position. I think we all believe Trent will probably find his way into midfield. We did a poll on the channel yesterday, and if my memory's right, it was close, but people believe Trent would get his spot back when he comes back from this injury, ahead of Bradley. But I'm trying to look ahead to the role under the next manager, and I think Conor Bradley is just a dream for anyone who plays with wing backs. So I wouldn't give him his jersey back yet. I wouldn't. I mean, I think Bradley's done so well that it would feel harsh giving the shirt straight back to Trent. But there's a lot that Trent can do that Bradley can't do. But from just talking about the right back position on its own, I feel safer with Bradley there. But you have the ability to get more from a game out of Trent because he's got that ball playing ability, the passing, the ability to thread the ball through the eye of an eagle. But one thing I'm going to say is we have two great free kick takers now, because apart from having Trent, look at Alexis. McAllister has got to be in consideration for any set piece now because he has the ability to pick it out. If that hadn't taken a nick off the wall last night, that free kick's going in top corner. Michael, thank you, mate. I am keeping well. Keeping well, dude. Hope you are. Hope all is good with you. Where will Trent go if he comes back? It's so difficult because I don't see a place for Trent in the midfield the way Jurgen plays our midfield. Because he's not a number 6, and I don't see him playing the same way. He's not press resistant like McAllister. So I struggle to see how he operates in our midfield. If Klopp played with two holding players, it would be so much easier to figure out where Trent plays. So I don't expect any change. If Trent gets back into the team, I expect him to play the hybrid role at right back the same way he was before he went out. I just think I'm more comfortable with Bradley at this moment in time. Not to say that Trent isn't a better player, just the way we're set up, I feel more comfortable and more stable with Bradley at right back. Would you sign Robinson and sell Tsimikas? Yes, I would. Now I know Anthony Robinson's not as young as some of us may believe. I think, was he 26, 27? But I do think he'd be a better fit for us than Costas. And look, I've nothing against Costas. Nothing at all. But I don't believe he'll ever become the first choice left back or left wing back. Bradley's a robbo on the right. Yeah. No fear. That's what I love about Bradley. No fear. And isn't afraid to put it about either. Yeah, none whatsoever. Love the kid. Craig, worried about United bounce after Chelsea plus psychological edge after FA Cup. Am I being paranoid? I think you've every right to be a little bit concerned, Trav, because I've been confident going into both games against United this season and thought it was going to be a stroll in the park. And, you know, I was wrong. We were all wrong, I think, on both occasions. You can look at that two ways. You can look at it that it shows United's mentality isn't that strong at the minute. But you also have to remember, our boys are going to want to give a reaction to having been beaten by United in the FA Cup. So we're also a wounded animal in that respect. It's a difficult one to gauge, mate. It is, coming into this weekend. But I think we'll find a way to get it done. I think we have to. I just pray to whoever, I'm not religious, I don't know who I'm praying to here, but I just hope that we don't have another ridiculous VAR or referee decision that leaves us all fuming again. You know, we were beaten by them in the FA Cup, and you did not see one excuse from me. You didn't hear me moaning about anything. We lost because we were wasteful, and we took it on the chin. We just said we lost, fair enough, and move on. But I feel like there's something in the works. I do. All week my mind has been saying to me, you're going to get shafted. 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 So I feel like we're going to get shafted. I'm going into this game in my head with Liverpool -1. Amorim will 100% bring his own coaching staff with him if he joins Liverpool. And Nasio could be a player he brings with him to Liverpool. Fabio Carvalho will be a player Amorim would want to keep. And that's from Pedro Sepulveda. Thank you, Pranav. Very kind of you, sir, for your super chat and for the information. And yeah, I can see him wanting to work with Carvalho. And I can see the plan seemingly was always that Carvalho was going to come back into the fold for Liverpool next season. But with Ruben Amorim coming in, I can see that definitely being the case. I'd love him to bring in Inacio with him as well. So everything you've written in that message there, mate, is absolutely sound with me. Trent can move to left back, but switch with Endo and Games to midfield. I mean, then what do you do with Robbo? I think this is the problem with Trent. I just don't know what type of midfielder in the way we play he'd be. And it feels ludicrous because Trent is a different player than last year. He's improved a lot. He's matured a lot. And he's delivered in big moments. So I feel really weird saying that I want Bradley there. But I can't get away from the fact I just feel safer with Bradley at right back. The Red Machine said, Craig, I couldn't believe the ref and VAR for the Brighton game. Tierney and Coote was such a bad duo. When we see Tierney, Coote or Atwell anywhere near a Liverpool game in any way, shape or form, I'm always nervous. What happens to Diaz under Amorim? Asks Scott Engerson. So it's a really good question, Scott, and I kind of broached the subject a little bit last night. If somebody comes in with an offer for Diaz, I think if he wanted to move to Spain, I think the club would take it. And I think we'd be prudent to take it based off the way Amorim plays. If Jurgen was still at the club, I promise you I'd be sitting here now going, no hope in hell we should sell Diaz. Don't even think about selling Diaz. But I don't know how he fits into a 3-4-3 system. I don't. You'll need two number 10s and your striker. So I don't see it. So feels like he's going to be a square peg looking to go into a round hole. And there's a few players I think the club may end up selling this summer. Salah, for the reasons we've outlined many times. If the offer comes in for Diaz, and I think it would have to be a pretty good offer, I think we'd sell it. But then again, who pays it? It won't be Real. Barca haven't got the money. Italy, the money isn't really there in Italy either. So Liverpool won't be actively looking to sell Diaz, I don't think. But let's say a £60 million offer came in from Atletico Madrid. Would I sell him? Yes. Because of the system, not because I don't like the player. Salah, I think, will be sold. I'm interested to see what happens with Tyler Morton. The one that really, really, really interests me is Kelleher, because we have to figure that situation out and look to the longer term as well. If we do sell Creevy and Kelleher, I think we have to put a buyback clause in there. But I still struggle to see how we come up with a better backup goalkeeper, because, you know, he's really, really good. Who else is there in the squad? Reece Williams will be gone. There'll probably be some loans. I mean, again, what happens with Bobby Clark? You know, does he go out on loan next season? Because, you know, he's had a very good season this year as well. Jaden Dans, what happens there? Does he continue to develop with the 21s? Yeah, there's a lot of questions to be answered. But looking at Ruben Amorim, he loves working with younger players. And again, that's why I think he's a good fit for the club, because the players we've seen come through, your Bradleys, your Kwanzas, your Clarks, your Dans, Luke Chambers, a left wing back perhaps. I don't think we need to do that much in the market, is where I'm going with all of this, really. I think we're nearly there. 2 centre backs and then whatever else the manager wants. But we're in a great position as a club, looking very strong for the future. We won't get a player as good as Diaz for 60 million. Yeah, but that's not my point, Dave. My point is, where does he play? Like, you say we won't get a player as good as him for 60 million, and I get what you're saying, but we don't need a player like Diaz, so we can spend that money elsewhere, would be my point. But I do appreciate where you're coming from. Trav, appreciate you, mate. Love from South Africa. Tell the imposter to leave the room. Yeah, I'm not a confident person, mate. I never have been. I'm my own worst critic. And very insecure, and just want, like everyone, want to be liked, want to be loved. And I always feel like an imposter when things are going well. I'm not used to good things in my life, apart from my family. I'm not used to things going well for me. So honestly, it's a learning experience. I grew up in, I know how to operate when times are bad. I know how to survive when times are bad. I don't really know what to do when things are good. It's all new to me. That sounds ridiculous to say out loud, but I grew up from my teenage years to now dealing with setbacks and always, you know, having to bite down on my gum shield and keep going forward. Now when things are good, I feel confused. I feel lost a little bit. I don't know how to deal with that emotion of things going well. It's embarrassing to say out loud, but it's true. I feel uncomfortable in good times because I'm not used to it. What I love about Klopp is that he lets the youngsters have a chance, unlike other managers. And now, since he gave Bradley a chance, look at him, he's glorious. Yeah, and also Bradley took that chance, which is another important thing to point out. I never had doubts about Bradley. I've been somebody who's been banging on about Conor Bradley for a good 18 months now. And nobody's let us down this year. That's a really nice thing to be able to say. You know, players have stepped up to the first team and delivered. Look at young Jaden Dans. Let's go back to the FA Cup game. Jaden Dans, 2 goals, stepping up. Incredible. To be able to do that like that, to come from the fringes right into the first team and deliver, amazing. Bobby Clark, amazing. So many more young players. Everybody this year has played a part in whatever success the club have had or will have. And that's amazing to see. Long-term loan for Kelleher, said Jack. The prudent thing to do, Jack, would be to sell rather than loan. Because if you sell, you're freeing up some immediate money. And if you've got the clause in there, you know you're covered in that regard if you want to come back to bring him back in. So I think the days of loaning players that are worth a good chunk of money, you see a lot of them being sold now with the buyback clauses. I suppose Kubo at Real Madrid is a good example, and some others. So I would expect a sale rather than a loan, because I think it makes more financial sense. Craig, you're looking good from this side. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Mark. Craig, I think there'll be an idle chance for a manager to take over the job as the last manager is leaving without any issues with the team or board. The only reason is that he's out of energy. It's perfect, as you said, Kubib. Excuse me if I've mispronounced that one, Kubabe. You're right. It's a great opportunity for somebody to walk into a dream job, a fan base that's ready to get behind you, a young, hungry team, back into the Champions League. Definitely have some silverware behind them this season. It's. I'll tell you what. I'll phrase it this way. Tell me a better, more attractive job in the world right now that's available or could come available this summer. There isn't one. Real Madrid down the line, if Carlo leaves, that's going to be a very attractive job with the quality of players they have there. But this type of opportunity doesn't come around very often in managers' careers. To come into a club where everything is ready, built, awaiting you to come in. Craig, what's your thoughts of Gary Neville? My uncle told me he was nothing but a tramp back when he was playing. So, my thoughts on Gary Neville. I don't know the man. Got to put that out there. When Gary Neville sticks to punditry, I think he's brilliant. I think him and Jamie Carragher and Monday Night Football has been a revelation in punditry. I think they're both really good. What bothers me about Gary Neville sometimes is, one, some of the nonsense he spouts about United, but that's okay. He's a United man. That's okay. It's banter. But, and again, I say this is not knowing the man. He stinks of his own self-importance to me. It's almost as if he thinks he's the Prime Minister of football or something like that. And I wish he'd just shut up and stick to the punditry, because he's a really good pundit, a very good pundit. And I think he articulates things very well at times. But I think he's too up himself. I just wish he'd shut up at times and just stick to the punditry, because he's really good at it, as I've said. And that's my opinion of him. As a player, he was solid, decent. As Cara said, nobody grew up wanting to be a Gary Neville. As a pundit, I think him and Carragher have redefined the levels for punditry. But yeah, I don't know if I can explain that any better. I just think sometimes he thinks his opinion holds more weight than it does, or than it ever should, would be my opinion of him. Mark said Gary Neville is the worst pundit in the world, needs to remember he's a Scouser because he keeps forgetting. I think he's a good pundit when he's actually breaking down the games and talking on Monday Night Football and not bantering. I think he's a good pundit. I really do think Neville's a good pundit. Don't like saying it, but I'm giving you my honest answer there. I think he's a good pundit. But I think he talks a lot of shite outside of the punditry. But again, a manager joining Liverpool is a heck of a job and could feel pressure of failing in the club and millions of fans going wrong. That's why Alonso's not coming. Okay, if that is why Alonso isn't coming, and I don't know that it is, then that's a cowardly decision. I don't know that that's the reason, so I have to caveat it with that. But I don't want a manager that looks at the Liverpool job and feels any type of fear. I want a manager that thinks it's his destiny to get a job this big, that there is no doubt in his mind or her mind that they are the candidate for that job, that they're going to succeed. That's the mentality we need. We need somebody with balls to come in, and I think Ruben Amorim has those minerals to succeed. Trav, again, thank you for your super chat, mate. Said, Hughes and Edwards, are you as keen as I am on this? Love it. Yes, really keen on it. I don't understand why people looked at Richard Hughes and said he's coming in from Brighton, or not Brighton, he's coming in from, where did Richard Hughes come from again? Sorry, I'm drawing a blank now for this second. Bournemouth, sorry. Coming in from Bournemouth, and that's not a good enough level. Because I'd remind them, the Michael Edwards that we all worship, he started out with Portsmouth. And he's good enough. So what I would say is, Michael Edwards' judgment I trust, and he trusts Richard Hughes. And Richard Hughes has done a very good job, in my opinion, at Bournemouth, and I think we're very lucky to have him on board. I think there'll be some uncomfortable decisions this summer that we won't like. Some of them based off the numbers, the analytics, removing the emotion from these decisions. That's why I feel so adamant we'll see Moby sold, but I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, I'm delighted, mate. I think it's a great combo, and as soon as I heard Michael Edwards was going to be back at the club in some way, shape or form, I felt a bit calmer about the future. And Richard Hughes, from my researching of him, knows Italian football inside out, having grown up there, and speaks Italian fluently, has a great relationship with some agents, and relationships are important in this industry. So yeah, I'm good. I think it's good. If Liverpool wins on Sunday, I think they'll win the league. What are your thoughts? I agree exactly as your good self there, Chris Simon Paul. Exactly the same as you, buddy. If we win on Sunday, that's for me, we're doing it. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Which team do I like the most after Liverpool? So historically, the answer has always been Barcelona. I had a Barcelona jersey, was my first ever football jersey when I was about 6 years of age. The days of Antonio Zubizarreta and players like that. But now I don't like what Barcelona have become. I don't look at Barcelona anymore and think I don't like them. I don't like the way that they operate these days. So I don't really have anybody now after Liverpool that I give a shit about. It's always been those two. Liverpool way ahead, obviously, but that's it. Keep an eye out for Shelbourne's results here in Ireland. Tranmere, obviously you keep an eye out for them, don't you? But I don't really have any attachment to anybody else. Is it confirmed Amorim will join? No, not confirmed yet. Lots of stuff came out this evening that said it's moving along, and that Liverpool are confident and that we're close to an agreement on the financials with his entourage, from a good, reliable Portuguese journalist. But no, it's not confirmed. What's your midfield for Sunday? I would go for Endo, McAllister and Elliott. But I have no problem if it's Endo, McAllister and Jones. I just think I'd rather see Szoboszlai come off the bench for 15-20 for this game if we need something. I think we need that consistency of ball possession and stuff from Elliott. So yeah, Elliott, McAllister, Endo. That's my midfield three for your Sunday. Outside of Madrid, Craig, would you say we're the biggest club in the world? No. Madrid, Manchester United are bigger clubs than Liverpool. We can't get away from that. We have to be honest about these conversations. Then you've got Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Barcelona. I would put in and around the same kind of level. I put Liverpool ahead of Barca, actually. I would say we're somewhere between third and fifth in biggest clubs in the world. I'm trying to be fair about it. It's Madrid and United are the top two. They sometimes fluctuate between who's one and two, but I think to give an honest answer, I think they're the two biggest, and we're the best of the rest probably, or there or thereabouts. How is United bigger than us? Global fan base. I think the way to describe it to you best is look at fan content. Why do you think there's no 1 million Liverpool channel, as an example? It's not because there isn't great Liverpool content creators. It's because it's way easier to get clicks for Manchester United. Way easier. Arsenal as well. They have more active fan bases in social media and around the world. On news stories, they get more clicks, they drive more traffic. It isn't just... I don't want for 1 second to say United are a bigger club. But we have to look at the facts in it and think it's Madrid and United. They've usually been 1 or 2 for the financials as well. And I just think it's the honest answer. You don't want to say that, but I'm always going to give you an honest answer. This guy is mad. Yeah, go fuck yourself. How about that? Do you want me to sit here and lie to you? Like, I can bring you up many articles that will give you these numbers and show you that they're 1 and 2. You know, everything I'm telling you here is backed up by proof. Google it. Look at it yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. And this guy also has a name, MK. So learn some damn respect. What Liverpool player should make it into the Premier League? Oh, and another reason. Ben, as you know, came from a United channel to come work on a Liverpool channel. Within 2 weeks, he joined us. He said, you guys have to work way harder to get views on Liverpool content than we ever would have had to do for United content. So I've got somebody who was part of the biggest Manchester United fan channel in the world coming across and saying that he sees that we have to work a lot harder to get views around Liverpool content. It's just true. And again, I'll back it up. Where's the 1 million Liverpool channel? We should have one. I hope to be the first one, but if United continue the way they are, their fan base will drop. Definitely. Absolutely. And Liverpool are closing that gap. Certainly on the financial front, Liverpool are doing great work to close that gap. But United stole a march on everybody at the start of the Premier League. You know, when they redeveloped Old Trafford, they moved towards the media side of things a lot quicker, and we were playing catch-up. And FSG have done a very good job in bridging that gap. But global fan bases don't lie. I think what I've said is true. Doesn't mean I think we're not a better club. I love our club. We're the most successful club in English football. But there's much research done to show which two clubs are the most supported around the world, and it is United and Real Madrid. United's injuries, ours are coming back, so we win, said Tanya. Yeah, I agree. I think Jones knows from Sky went with 6-1. I don't quite think we beat them 6-1, but I do hope and think we leave Old Trafford with the points. Oak, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Love you, Craig. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you so much. Canada is definitely somewhere I want to get to for a show as well. 100%. What about AC Milan? Yeah, another huge club. Probably one I forgot, in all honesty, when I was mentioning Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Liverpool. AC Milan would probably be in that context as well. The financials just aren't quite there for Milan or Italian football at the minute, but again, yeah, a very successful club but a very big global fan base. If Liverpool win against Man United, will I eat broccoli? No. The only time you're getting me to eat that broccoli, buddy, is when, if and when we win the league title. And then I'll eat the broccoli. Oh, God. I'm going to have a bucket beside me because I fully expect to vomit, but Craig, can you agree that bigger doesn't mean greater? 100%. 100%, mate. I'm talking about numbers. Liverpool are the most successful in England. That's not even up for debate. So yeah, in that regard, absolutely. Better, definitely. I'm not trying, I'm just being honest. I could sit here and lie, but I want to be respected for the things that I say, you know. And I mean that not from the fact of show me respect. I mean, I want people to believe when I say things because I don't want to lie to anyone. Right. I'm absolutely shattered, so I'm going to call it a night, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight as well. Do not forget, tickets are on sale right now. Ticketmaster for Belfast and Dublin. Hope you can come and join us. I will see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 for another late night agenda where we'll be looking ahead to the game against United. Don't forget to check out the preview. That went up earlier on. It's up on the channel. If you get a chance, have a look at it. And yeah, Anfield Agenda Clips channel as well. Don't forget to check that out. So have yourselves a great weekend. Appreciate you giving up your evening to have a chat with me. And yeah, fingers crossed we get the win on Sunday. Have a good one.